Hello there, everybody. Welcome. This is me, Owen Fitzpatrick, and I've just gone live, I believe, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and yeah, I think that's what's happening. If I haven't, if for whatever reason you're not seeing me right now or not hearing me right now, then you wouldn't know. So you're not going to be able to know that I'm asking you this question to double check. So I'm just going to assume that you can all see me. But to help me, please do put something in the comments, say hello, say hi. I don't always see the comments, but hopefully I will. Hey, Ali, how's it going? We got Elia, it seems. We've got Garber. Um, Good to see you too, Elia. Hope you're keeping well. Martinez is here. Who else is in the house? Okay, we got some comments in terms of Facebook. Hey, Heather, how's it going? Hey, Lisa, hello, how are you? We've got Tom Ziegler, my good friend Tom. How are you, my friend? I hope you're keeping well, buddy. I miss you, mate. We got Tom Photo, the wonderful Tom Photo. We got the great Cindy. We got Papacon. Hello. Natasa. Okay. Hard to sometimes tell on Instagram what people's real names are. Roisin, hello. I hope you're keeping well. So I'm presently, if anyone's wondering why my eyes keep darting up, here I have my phone, which is Instagram live, and here I have Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn live. Hey, Pamela, how's it going? I hope you're keeping well. Um, Looking good, brother. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you too, bro. And hopefully we'll catch up soon. We have Gillian as well. We have the wonderful Margaret Considine, always inspiring. Thank you so much, Margaret. I'm excited to see you next month. Really looking forward to seeing you in person again. So we got lots of people in the house. Great, wonderful. Good to see you all. Today we're going to be talking about managing your future. So we talked earlier, yesterday, in fact, about being able to manage your influence more effectively. I talked about 3 strategies. I talked you through the one, 2 for me, or 2 for you and 1 for me strategy, the reverse exaggeration question, and motivational interviewing. And I shared with you those 3 strategies as ways to be able to influence more effectively. If any of you got a chance, hey Shay, how's it going, mate? If any of you got a chance to use any of those strategies, or indeed some of the strategies we covered last week when we did the modules on habits of temptation bundling and habit stacking, or on focus, the ceiling effect, as well as being able to start with the right question, or indeed the managing your mind piece, where it was about emotional granularity, or being aware of your triggers or whatnot. If you used anything so far, please do share in the comments what you found useful, what you found helpful, what made a difference to you. That would be terrific if you could share some feedback on that. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about managing your future. And, when we talked last week about managing your mind, I gave you 5 quick tips. Then in terms of managing your life and the focus and habits, I gave you 4 tips. Yesterday, I gave you 3. So guess what's here today? 2, but 2 very powerful strategies for managing your future. And again, something that many of you will not have used or not have done before. So I'm excited to share them with you. Ali says, I used the 2 for you and 1 for me today. Very helpful. Fantastic to hear it, Ali. Great to hear it. Great to know that. Heather, working up to a big conversation. I'm planning to use reverse exaggeration. Fantastic. Cindy was aware of triggers and has been working on her triggers, which is terrific. Great to see it. Hey, Claudia, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Charlotte, good to see you too. So some of you are using these skills, which is great. Roisin said use 2 to 1 today. Great results. Caught the person off guard. Fantastic. Excellent. Love to hear this stuff. This is what I live for, is that feedback, which is really, really important. Also, by the way, just to let you know, a quick announcement, I will be posting on all my social media channels a survey link. So if you do follow me, if you have come across me multiple times before, would love you to fill in the survey and give me a bit of feedback. That would be terrific. Always helpful to learn whatever I can. Tom Photo used triggers. Fantastic, Tom. Great to hear it, to be able to manage your mind more effectively. So let's get straight in today on the 2 strategies that I want to share with you to help you to manage your future. And the first one is what I call lifestyle premortems. Now, in order to explain what a lifestyle premortem is, let me define premortem first. And this is a technique I learned a number of years ago from the work of Professor Annie Duke. Annie Duke is a former poker player and an academic who is excellent writer, excellent author, written a number of books at this stage. But one of her books that she talked about, Thinking in Bets is the name of the book. And she talks about a premortem. And a premortem is when you stop and you imagine, in the future, you imagine some project that you're doing or something you want to accomplish, and you imagine yourself in the future having failed. And I know what it seems like. You're thinking to yourself, oh, why would I imagine I failed? Well, you're imagining you failed so that you can then go, okay, if I fail in, a year from now or 6 months from now or 2 years from now, looking back, what are the mistakes that I would have made that would have led me to this failure? In other words, what are the things that I would have done wrong that would have meant that I failed inevitably at the end? And what you're doing that for is to try to identify ahead of time what are the potential things that are going to get in your way, the obstacles, the things that might trip you up along the way. And so when you do this sort of premortem, it really helps with regards to projects. But why I call it a lifestyle premortem is that one of the types of goals that I suggest that you build for yourself is what I call lifestyle goals. So there's 4 types of goals that I recommend people use. What I call the lifestyle goals, which are habits. Like, what are your goals in terms of how do you want to live? What are the kind of habits that you want to have as part of your lifestyle? There's experience goals. What are your bucket list items, right, that you want to achieve one day? Achievement goals, which is what do you want to actually achieve, right? This is specific metrics that you can score yourself of, things you want to actually achieve. And then finally, development goals. These are things you want to learn, things you want to get better at, things you want to improve on. So with the lifestyle goals specifically, I really love the idea of what I call a lifestyle premortem. And this basically means you think about the kind of habits that you want to build. So maybe you want to go to bed earlier. Maybe you want to eat healthier. Maybe you want to exercise more. Maybe you want to stretch more. Maybe you want to do like the cold exposure therapy. Whatever it is that you want to do more of, I want you to imagine, starting off and trying to do that, and then imagine failing. Imagine making a plan that you're going to do it, and then imagine failing miserably, trying your best to make this happen, to ensure that you're, engaging in these new habits, and then imagine failing miserably. And what I want you to do is, as you imagine failing miserably, look back and ask yourself the following question. What was it that tripped you up? What was it that stopped you from maintaining these habits? What was it that got in the way? What were the impediments? What were the things that you predicted were going to happen? What are the things that you didn't predict that were going to happen? But imagine yourself having failed in the future, looking back to the present, thinking about what went wrong, and start to identify what went wrong. When you do this exercise, it's incredible, because when we stop and think about the future and we think about what we want to achieve in the future, it's often hard for us to predict what might get in the way. But when you imagine yourself having failed in the future, retrospectively looking back, it's easier for you to identify the very things that tempted you off course, that provided a huge challenge for you, that distracted you or took your attention away. So what you want to do is try to be very clear over exactly what were those impediments that made it so that you were pushed off course, right? Away from what you, ultimately speaking, wanted to accomplish, wanted to achieve. And you do that for your lifestyle goals. When you do this, you start to learn specifically what are the things that could stop you from achieving what it is that you want. What are the things that could stop you from making these habits part and parcel of the way in which you work? Because one of the biggest mistakes I've seen people make is whenever they try a new habit, they don't stop and think about the particular things they're going to get in the way. They almost assume like everything's going to be easy for me once I commit to this habit. Well, yes and no. It'll be easier if you commit to it, but at the same time, you're still going to have things that trip you up. And if you do this lifestyle premortem, it means you're stepping into the future, imagining what might have gone wrong if you failed. And as a result of that, identifying what those things are in the future. And the extra benefit of this is that when you've imagined yourself failing, it will motivate you even more, because it reminds you of the pain that you don't want to feel. And that pain that you don't want to feel is going to drive you, that when you are challenged with these particular issues or these, trip ups or whatever, you're in a much better position. You're more driven, you're more motivated, you're more determined to be able to move forward. That's called the lifestyle premortem. So I'm hoping this makes sense to you. Let me know in the chat if this is something you could see yourself using, or if you've used something similar or anything like that. Would be great to hear it. So that's the first technique, the lifestyle premortem. The second technique to help you to bounce into the future more effectively is what I call establishing or making motivation moments. Now, what do I mean by motivation moments? Well, along the way, if you want to be able to get yourself to the point that you're consistently driving forward, taking action, getting the kind of results that you want, then what you really need to do is you need to recognize that your motivation is sometimes going to be dwindling. Indeed, the lifestyle premortem will probably point out that somewhere along the way, your motivation is going to wane. Like it's easy, for example, give me a shout out. Those of you who are, good at like you make New Year's resolutions, but you don't always keep them, right? So anyone here make a New Year's resolution and didn't succeed with that New Year's resolution, let me know. Right? Let me know if you've ever done that before. You've made a New Year's resolution, but you weren't able to keep to it. Right. And so what happens there is you're super motivated day one, right? Day one, you're super motivated. You're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this every single day. Nothing is going to stop me. Right. And you're all fired up. Why? It's January 1, January 2, January 3. You're going to the gym. You're going for your run. You're eating your healthy diet. You're going to sleep early. You're killing it because you're motivated. You're inspired. Right? And this is known as the fresh start effect, right? It's something that motivates us to be really good at the beginning of a new encounter. When we feel like we've gotten a fresh start, it lifts our dopamine levels, which is the molecule of motivation. So we're motivated to take action and we're driven towards moving forward towards what we want. It's easy to succeed when you're motivated. The problem is motivation doesn't last all the time, right? Motivation doesn't last. We're great at planning. We're great at getting started. We're great at initiating action oftentimes, but we're not great at continuing it. And we're not good when the going gets tough. So there's two solutions to this. One is to learn to become more disciplined as opposed to just motivated. So learn to build routines and habits that maintain the kind of behavior you want moving forward. So it becomes part of the natural way in which you work. But the other strategy, which is also really useful, is strategy around creating and making motivation moments. And these motivation moments, they work like this. What you do is you decide, what are the times that I predict and expect motivation to wane for me? And then what am I going to do to get myself motivated again, to relaunch myself at the world? So you predict a particular habit that you want to engage in or a particular activity, or even if you're, trying to have an achievement goal. Let's say you're writing a book, for example, and you know that once you've, established or written the chapter titles in the past, that's where you've waned, right? Or maybe you start off and you do the same project as you've always done, but there's always a point in that project that you start to, lose motivation. Well, when this happens, plan for that and figure out how are you going to take time to create a motivation moment then. And this might mean taking time where you give yourself 30 minutes or an hour for you to do exercises like writing down all of the reasons why it's so important that you do this, or talk to someone you know that already made this change in their life, or listen to inspiring, motivating music and get yourself to take action on this, right? Or tell people why you're going to do this and why you're going to do this by a certain deadline. All of these are ways to elevate how motivated you feel. And as a result of that, at the exact time you need it, those moments where you start to wane, you insert those motivational moments where you deliberately, on purpose, turn the tap and release the valve and allow you to fill yourself with that motivational drive. You deliberately increase the level of dopamine in your brain. And as a result of that, you inspire yourself at the very moments that you most need that. This is what I call motivation moments. So consider in the future, any change you want to make, the start's going to be easy or relatively easy because you know that you have the desire, the drive to take action. But once you get over that hump, once you go over that hill, once you get to the point where you're already making progress, that's when you have to watch out. That's when you have to be careful and cautious and aware of how that motivation might wane. And when it starts to wane, that's when you then insert those motivation moments where you decide, okay, I'm going to take an hour, half an hour, whatever it is, to deliberately motivate myself. And whatever works for you. We all are motivated by different things. Some people are motivated more by challenge. Some people are more motivated by, a goal setting and setting exciting goals for themselves. Some by noticing the progress they've already made, right? Some by visualization. some by talking to people and making promises, some by listening to people, some by listening to motivational experts. But the key is to set yourself up with these incredible motivational moments. It's in the words of the great Zig Ziglar, motivation is like a bath. You need to take it every day. And that's something wonderful that I learned from Zig. We've got Tom Ziegler, wonderful Tom. I use the premortem to set a goal of working out every day. With my travel schedule, I had to create a goal that wasn't DOA, dead on arrival. So I decided that success means 30 minutes of intentional movement daily. I love that. And again, that's Tom both setting a premortem, but also him creating moments where he needs them, right? So it's organizing your life in such a way that you're not allowing your schedule to run you. You're running your schedule. You're determining what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. So I love that example, Tom. Tom says, I'm now on day 340 in a row. 30 minutes doesn't have to be in a row. Love it. Excellent. That's a terrific example. And this is what we're talking about, right? And so I can take inspiration from a great example like that. And in many ways, it's about deciding that we are in control over where we implement our time. And okay, if you've got a 9-to-5 job, or if you're, in a particularly busy time or busy period, you got a family, you got a lot of responsibilities. I know that your time is limited, but I also know that you can predict what challenges will take time away from you. You can predict pretty much when those things are going to happen. And so when you can predict that, what you do is you start to plan for those situations, plan for those times. And as a direct result, you provide yourself with opportunities to be able to motivate yourself when you most need to, and to be able to create those motivational moments effectively. So just to reflect on it, we talked about two key strategies, two key techniques to move into the future. One is what we call the lifestyle premortem. Figure out what kind of habits you want to implement. Imagine yourself in the future having failed, and then retrospectively look back and figure out what are the things that got in your way. And Tom gave a great example there where, he looked at when his travel schedule was all over the place, it meant that it was a lot harder for him to find time to be able to do it. So once he knew that, he knew what he needed to watch out for in order for him to build a habit. Great example. And then motivational moments, after a while, as you engage in a project, as you engage in a new habit, your motivation will wane. So at those times when your motivation starts to wane, they're the times to start to turn things around and go, okay, I'm going to give myself deliberate time to motivate myself and to give myself the motivational bath, as Zig would say, that allows me to be fired up and moving forward in the best way possible. Just reading some comments here. Tanya says, as per losing kg, but after some time, motivation doesn't last for a long time. Exactly, Tanya. And that's why you need to set up these moments to motivate yourself moving forward. Heather says, good at planning, less at following things through. Again, the following things through is a lack of motivation at that moment. So we need to plan for those times. Super brilliant to this New Year's resolutions. Exactly, Roisin. Great to see it. Very enlightening. We'll definitely put it into regular use. Fantastic. Makes lots of sense. Excellent. Absolutely, says Cindy. Elvie says, so good. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome, Elvie. Tom Photo says, you can usually get good deals at exercise equipment in February. Of course, right? Of course you can, for a good reason. No worries at all, Patricia. Cindy says, I've incorporated working out in my life for the last 11 years. It's become a way of life, and that's the key. When I travel and I can't find a gym, I walk a certain number of miles. Love it. And again, that's an example of premortem, right? Cindy's anticipating, if I'm in a situation where I don't find the gym, that's going to knock me off. So what am I going to do when that happens? We plan for the worst case scenario and we're ready for it. That, my friends, is how we deal with the future. Because there's one truth. It doesn't mean that, when we plan for the future and we set our goals, that doesn't mean we're going to achieve them, right? Bad things will happen. In Ireland, we have a saying, Murphy's Law, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. I have a second Murphy's Law saying, which I like to say, which is whatever can't go wrong will probably also go wrong, right? So when it goes wrong, be ready for it. Plan it. Make it so that nothing stops you. And again, this just requires thinking ahead of time and implementing it. Doing the lifestyle premortem, doing the motivational moments. As Shay said, these strategies are very complementary. They work very naturally, absolutely, Shay, together. And again, you need to focus on planning for it. If you're interested in learning these and more techniques on building your future and managing your mind and managing your mood and changing your beliefs and becoming more influential and mastering your habits and mastering your focus, All of that is going to be in the Change Your Mind seminar. This has been the last mini webinar that I have scheduled. You can look on my Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, and back at some of the past sessions we did yesterday on influence, and last week on habits and focus, and managing your mood and beliefs and whatnot. But I would love to see you. If you're interested in coming along, go to owenfitzpatrick.com/seminar. That's owenfitzpatrick.com/seminar. We have a few tickets left, a handful of tickets, and then we're going to be sold out, which is great. But if you're looking to do it, I want to get it sold out as soon as possible. So hoping in the next couple of days. But please do come along. It's going to be great. It'll be 3 days with me, and a wonderful group of people, where we're going to be working through managing your mind, managing your mood, changing your beliefs, some great new work on beliefs that I've been developing and working on, and how to be able to maximize and improve the quality of your life. So it's going to be excellent. Hope you can make it 21st to the 23rd of April, 2023, in the heart of Dublin City Centre. And you can get your tickets there at owenfitzpatrick.com/seminar. Great. Olivia says, I always plan for the worst. See you in Dublin. Fantastic. Looking forward to that. Thanks, Lisa. Great to see you. Thanks, Gillian. 1 month from today. Absolutely, Gilly. That's right. I didn't even think of that. So 1 month left. Looking forward to seeing you there, Shay and Jason also. Ashley, how's it going? Great to see you, Ashley. I hope you're keeping well. And Ali, looking forward to believing better. Fantastic. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Heather. Thanks all. Be well. No worries, Marie. We will miss you. Night, Margaret. Great to see you, my dear friend. See you in Dublin. See you, Ellie, in Dublin. We got great international group coming in for Dublin. So I hope you can all make it. See you soon. Be well. And as always, may the force be with you all. And may you all continue to, on an ongoing basis, believe better. Bye for now. Take care.